I will say this: bad hobbies. You have an alcohol addiction. You're into, illegal drugs and stuff like that. That's something you need to be smart about, right? It's not good for you to begin with. Never mind what she wants or what's good for her. It's not good for you to begin with. But at the end of the day, women will try to beta-tize you. They'll put guys through unknowingly. They don't do this intentionally. They'll unknowingly put men through a precise and progressive set of steps and series of steps known as beta-tization by 1,000 concessions. And it starts out with something simple like, oh, do you really need to go hunting with the guys? And you still go anyway. And then it turns into something like you abandon hunting, with the guys, or going to even if you don't hunt, maybe you go to the shoot the clay targets, do some skeet and trap, for example, and you abandon that because she doesn't like that because, you've got a gun in the house, which should be locked in a safe, by the way. But, she doesn't like that because of whatever value she might have. One of the things that's always bothered me is whenever somebody tries to impose their beliefs and values, not always in recent history, but like when I was in my 20s, people would always try to impose their beliefs and values on you. Well, you can't do that, or you should stop doing that, or da 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 da. And often men are quite happy to abandon their, let's get some light on here. Men are quite happy to abandon their passions to placate women. But when people start to impose their beliefs, sometimes it's your hobbies, sometimes it's certain friends, sometimes it's religious belief. But whenever people try to tell you what to do because it's in their belief system, that's usually the first sign. It's time to say sayonara and goodbye to that individual in your life. That's a part of you. I'm never, ever, ever going to give up going to rallies, exotic car meets, like hanging out with the boys driving fast. It's never going to happen. It's part of me. I enjoy hanging out with those men. I enjoy the camaraderie. I enjoy poking fun at each other's cars, poking fun at each other's driving skills, having coffee, sitting down and having lunch and all that stuff. Those are things that I enjoy. I enjoy hanging out with my brothers from the Rule Zero gang, right? I have an opportunity to hop on that when I'm not busy on a Saturday. So there's parts of your lives that should be non-negotiable as men that you should not abandon, that you should not walk away from just because a chick says, oh, I don't agree with your hobby of hunting. I don't care. I don't agree with your vegan lifestyle. If you want to eat plants and vegetables, go for it. I'm not going to shove a steak in your face. Like it's really as simple as that. Men will never do that. Well, it's not that likely. I mean, some men will have to enforce boundaries with women because they've got bad habits, i.e., going out clubbing with promiscuous women. If they want to be in a relationship and you've decided to do that and they still continue to do that, you need to enforce that boundary. It's an obvious one. That is different from going out with your friends for a few days on a cabin hunting trip or going into the back country. One of the things that I used to like to do, that a girlfriend that I used to date a while back tried to impose some restrictions on, is I'd go to Algonquin Park. And if you're not familiar, just Google it very quickly. It's let me see if I can pull up a real quick pic because I got my screen shared here, right here. Just, this is what we're talking about here. No, come on, image. So this is what you get when you go to one of these backcountry places. It's real nice stuff, right? Something like this. This is one of the bigger lookout spots. So you can go look that up. But they got a lot of portage trails and canoe routes and all kinds of stuff throughout all the lake system there. It's not a particularly comfortable place to be, if I'm being honest. There are bears. There are things that can kill and eat you. Wolves, probably mountain lions. I mean, there's cats there for sure. But it wasn't because of safety. It was because it would take time away from her. And that was a non-negotiable for me. I mean, I would do that with a bunch of my friends. Now, over the years, I mean, we've been doing this since our 20s. And over the years, I've still be the one that's still insisting on wanting to go and do these trips. But slowly but surely, all these guys, as they get wifed up or as they have kids, they're no longer able to go and do the annual summer trip for like 4 or 5 days in the backcountry, which is a shame because it's one of the best bonding moments you can have with other men. Men are tribal. Men need to be around other men. Men need to do things with other men. You know, when women get together, they just sit around and yap, right? But when men get together, we like to get together and go out and do something, usually something to challenge us, usually something to make fun of each other. But there's some kind of a camaraderie that exists in that instant. One of the differences that you'll notice between men and women is when men hang out together, we're usually together side by side. And this is a function of, you know, throughout history, if we were out hunting together, I got somebody here beside me, we see a mastodon out there and we're checking him out, looking behind the bushes. Your friend's not sitting across the table talking to you. He's to your left or you know, to your left or to your right, because you're having a conversation. You're getting ready to eye him down and spear this bad boy, right? But when women get together, they just sit around and talk. So they just sit around a table or circle or across from each other. So you'll notice big differences between the way men and women interact. And if women become aware to the fact that it's good that men have hobbies, that it's good that men have friends that allow them to do productive things and get them out of the house and allow them to have something to do aside from her, because what most guys end up doing is they end up making her the hobby. They end up making her the focus of it all. And book one, Rational Male, one of the biggest takeaways from that was a woman should only ever be a complement to your life, never the focus. But far too many men are all too happy to abandon their friendships, their hobbies, their interests, because she said that he's not allowed to do it anymore. How many guys do you guys know that were fit, strong, muscular men, you know, before they got involved with a woman, got wifed up or something like that, and a few years down the road, they turn into a fat slob, right? This is not uncommon. I've seen a lot of dudes, a lot of friends of mine that I used to hang out with, you know, we'd go to the gym, and as soon as they get involved with a woman in their life, they just don't look the same. You know, they pack on 30 pounds, sometimes 100 pounds, maybe even more, and they just give up. They don't put any effort into their appearance. And not only is that not good for them from the self-care perspective, but what these men fail to realize is you cannot relax as a guy. Women can relax in a long-term relationship. Okay. I mean, all they're really supposed to do is maintain their level of attraction, but men need to continue to chase excellence. And part of chasing excellence means maintaining competency skills. It means making sure that, you know, you have the, like, if you're a hunter and you hang out with your friends and you hunt or you fish, you can still get the fish, right? That's why you keep the boat, so you can still get the fish. So you have to make sure that you're able to demonstrate that and be able to bring home the bacon, because that kind of stuff matters. But far too many, you know, I got rid of the boat because, you know, I got this instead, and she wanted to get a minivan, so now we have a minivan, and that's what we do, you know, sort of thing. Or maybe have a camper van, you know, camper / minivan. But they give up their personal time with their friends, and it's so unattractive to women. Guys have no idea how unattractive they become as a function of saying yes, yes, honey, yes. Did you guys ever see that stand-up comedy? Who was it? Chris Rock or Chris Tucker? I can't remember. I always get the Chris's confused. But there's one stand-up where you know, he talks about just getting a stamp, just stamping everything. Yes, 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 yes. Honey, can I? Yes. Honey, can we? Yes. Honey, can I? Yes. Right? It's just stamping everything without even questioning it or saying no. And you have to, as a guy, be in a position to say no to women. You have to be able to hold firm. You're supposed to. You're a man. You're supposed to have a backbone. You're supposed to be able to say no to her. But the problem is men, we just get beta-tized. You know, we just get weak. You know, we allow it to happen. And you have to be aware that it's happening. But most guys are not aware. They just don't see it. They have no idea that it goes down.